Welcome back. Um, Tonight's tutorial is a Photoshop tutorial, and what I'm going to be doing is going over a few things. One of them is dealing with different types of the eraser tool, and the other is saving things as a transparent GIF. For example, if you were going to put it on a web page, if I was to, take this duck and then save it for the web here, come on my desktop, and I'll just call it Ducky. And I wanted to stick it on my web page out here, I can insert a picture from File, Ducky, but you see it's got this real white background. Alright, so one of the cool functions of Photoshop is this tool. If you hold down the eraser and you pull out to the background eraser. Now you can see that I have a really large brush. I can use my right and left brackets to make it larger or smaller. And I can just click somewhere in the white. I don't want to click on the yellow, but if I click on the white, you'll see how I can actually take the background out. Okay, and I'm going to keep going around. Okay, and hopefully that'll get it all. And now if I go and File, Save for Web Now, the last time, okay, now see how it's trying to save it as a JPEG. Alright, basically, let me just make sure. Okay, image mode, 8 bits/. Okay, I'm going to do File, Save for Web, and instead of JPEG, I'm going to choose GIF. And you see how it went back to the checkers. The checkers means it's transparent. So I'm going to go ahead and do Save, and I'm going to call this one ducky.gif. Now GIFs can be transparent, JPEGs cannot. So I'm going to go back over here to my document, and next to this I'm going to click, actually I'll delete this one so you can see it better. I'm going to click Insert, Picture from File, and I'm going to do ducky.gif. See how they look the same here? Okay, so you can see that I have my ducky. I can resize my ducky. But you'll still see there's some little bits of, I guess, jagged edges. Now there are some things you can do about that. One is to, do a stroke around it. There are other things that you can try, but overall, that's how you get a background erased in a transparent GIF. Now another one, this one you'll see if I was to actually paint on this, you see how this is a different shade of white than that. This is really kind of a peach colored white. But if I was to go and erase this, I'd first want to go to Adjustments, Levels, and bring my white up. Okay? That way I've got a little bit better stuff to work here, and I'd go in and again erase my background and work with it that way. Alright. Now I have it set right now, you can see, for contiguous, but what that means is that if there's areas like in here or somewhere else that are not touching, they won't be touched. Alright, so anyway, that's another example. And it can be useful for things like this logo. Now you'll see here it's saying that says index. Some graphics that you're going to work with are going to be index files, so you have to make sure you go from image mode index to image mode RGB color. And then when you go and delete, okay, now you'll see that it really chopped out that gray. What I need to do is drop my tolerance down because that's a pretty sharply defined white and orange and gray. So I can do this, and I'm going to do File, Save for Web, and go ahead and do a save. K12HSN. Okay, and go back to my little program over here and insert picture from File, K12HSN. Now obviously this needs some work. Now sometimes you can get away with going back to your Photoshop and doing some things like layer style, drop shadow. but sometimes the drop shadows and the strokes and things like that actually make the thing a little bit worse. Because then it has real jagged edges around. But experiment, and there's lots of tutorials on the web for improving it. I'm just trying to give you the basics here. This is another one that I think is good, and that is being able to take pictures like frames and put your own picture into it. All right. Now the other type of eraser that we have is the magic eraser, and what that does is, again, we have an index here, so I'm going to convert that to an RGB color, and I can just click here and it takes out all of the white that is touching. And here I could do the same thing, and again and again. So, it's maybe not as smooth as the other one, but there are times when you might just want to erase a whole big section like this. Alright, and in this case, it may actually be working better than what we did with our magic eraser. If I was to do Safer Web, yeah, it actually got out quite a bit. So I'm going to save this, and I'm going to do GIF face GIF. Go back to my page here, insert picture from file, GIF face GIF. Okay, so it has a little bit of work that it needs. Okay, so that's the basics of doing transparent GIFs and using different eraser tools. And I hope this helps. Let me know if it does, or if you'd like me to go into a little more in depth on some of this. Thanks for watching.